Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are getting into a war in Hanover to protect Hanover, our new vassal. And last time I promised I wasn't going to forget about my mandates, and I forgot about my mandates. So let's deal with that. We actually have 2 in the pot, and we're about to get our 3rd. So, first things first, we're going to increase food standardization. That's going to give us +1 standard of living for every country in the block, and that's going to be excellent. Just go ahead and hit that button. It's going to tick standard of living up. Let's see if it ticks it up 100% of the amount immediately. Not yet, but it's going to tick up. Interesting. And then we got one more mandate, and soon to have another, so we got a new principle. There's a lot of options here. Of course, we could finish out external trade, but I think it's time to get research. I need the research. I just need it. It's too important. So this reduces bureaucracy cost of education at this level. It increases institution change speed for education. That's fine. And it allows us to impose our education law on others, but it also increases text spread with education institutions. So that'll be really nice. And as we get our next level in that, it'll be even better. I've queued in a ton of construction, but there's no reason not to queue in more construction. We're very close to being able to get Japan into the power block, so I think it's reasonable to electrify and connect up the country. Some of these places don't have a railway yet, and they need one, and then they all need a power plant. So, we're just going to go ahead and queue those in. Great Britain is damaging relations. Rude. Extremely rude and incredibly rude. Great Britain, why would you damage relations with me, your best friend? Ha-ha! You'll never break our relations. I shall be best friends with you. Ha-ha! No one could have foreseen this. And there's mandate number 2 for tech. And that brings us up to level 2 here. That's going to increase the initial 2 bonuses and reduce ahead of time penalties, which I pretty much never experience, but it's still useful. And I've got level 3 education, so this is giving me 15% extra tech spread, minus 15% ahead of time penalty, in addition to all the other bonuses. This is also saving me a little bit of bureaucracy, which maybe I'll decrease the size of the government again later. Let's go ahead and get this war started. 2 arms. There's big wars happening in Germany. How's the Austro-Prussian war? Oh, this is actually going to finish pretty soon. Let me see. So total casualties about 500,000 dead and about 1 million wounded. Yeah, it looks like Austria is going to lose this. And Prussia does have war support protection, so that's interesting. So Prussia's going to get leadership. Austria's not going to get any of this other garbo. Hailstorm? Dang. Let's see if that's visually interesting. Yeah, look at all that. It mostly just looks like snow, but that's fine. Austria's improving relations. Very cool. Delighted. Delighted to hear that. Force comparison is very solid on this front and pretty okay on this one. Looks like we're for sure winning these battles. So I'm hoping none of this is going to get silly. I think Hanover only has 1 state, because I think we're holding the other. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Rubber discovered in Annam. Excellent. Alright, so that's the end of that. Now, I do have the Confederation of the Rhine decision here. And I'm going to read this to y'all, and I'm probably going to hit this button because I'm just curious about how this works. From 1806 to 1813, by the design of Napoleon Bonaparte, the German states were unified under a single government, the Confederation of the Rhine. This edifice solidified Napoleon's control over Germany by proxy, containing the power of both Prussia and Austria. Reviving this arrangement will secure the power of Iberia within Germany and avert the design of an uncontrollable unified Germany. So this will complete if there are no South German or North German nations with rank major, and have failed the Rhine fiasco, which cost us prestige. It feels like this might be something I could fail out of, actually. But I do kind of want to see how it goes. Austria and Prussia are both majors. And I don't necessarily want to antagonize them. So maybe I'll once again not do the Confederation of the Rhine. One of these days I'll do the Confederation of the Rhine. Maybe the next time I play Britain, I'll do the Confederation of the Rhine and just plow through here. Because I should do a Britain sort of world domination, like full world domination run. I need more tech industry, because phones are expensive. Although I suppose I could reduce the size of my government. That's an effective way to reduce the strain on my tech industry of the expensive phones. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. I'm building up 3 more, but that's to hand off to someone else. Let's drop Western Andalusia down to 2. That should be fine. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Another war is happening. Ah, another Dominican uprising in Cuba. I'm starting to feel like Cuba is not... Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. German leadership secured them all of this. Oh my. But Germany, you're trying to eat my protectorate. You're trying to eat both of my protectorates, and I can't allow that. So I'm going to have to decline, and I'm going to have to fight Germany. So, I'm already in 1 war. We'll mobilize our forces, and I'm going to raise the conscripts, because... yeah, I think this is going to be a real war, friends. Do I do all of them? I think I do all of them. Yeah, because I'm going to need forces in a lot of different area codes here. Alright, Iberian Royal Armada, we'll send them here to guard that strait so that Germany can't properly trade. Except with all their neighbors. Oh, automatic bottle blowers, that's fun. France, what do you want? So what's your war goal is cut Germany down to size. So that's not going to be accomplishable until we push all the way in. On this side we have French Niger, all the other German states, but not Austria. I could get a pile of money from France. Do I really do that? Is that really how I play it? I could get war goals. Oh my. That is so much infamy. But gosh, it would be delightful to have Netherlands as a subject. They'd be willing to give it to me. No, I can't. It's too much infamy. I'm gonna wreck my whole empire. I'm still trying to get control of the Ottomans. I could steal a state. Doesn't feel like it'd be useful. Is there anything Dutch down here that I could grab to incorporate into Bali? Doesn't seem ideal, does it? I could steal Bhutan, which is here. And everything else just seems... No, you know what? These are not productive. None of these are useful to me. Could do a liberate. Do something really obnoxious over here. Liberate Flanders. That would be just silly. I don't want to balkanize. Regime change in Bhutan, that's not useful. Transfer subject. Oh, I want something. I want something. We'll do war reparations. We'll just do war reparations. I'll get a pile of money, but from Germany. Yeah. Alright. Germany added liberate French Niger, conquer Alsace-Lorraine, and liberate Basque. And of course, I joined. Getting prepared to do the other stuff. What? Oh, there's a tiny front over there. Alright, so, first of all, Iberian Expedition... No, Royal Guard. This is my front. This is my main front. This, the Iberian Expeditionary Force, you're going there as well. And then we'll put the territorial army on this tiny secondary front, and hopefully that will not become a boondoggle. Alright. Germany still doesn't really have a fleet, so I think I'm going to be fine. I am, of course, going to need to do... I'm going to send the Interior Defense Force to Cuba, actually. Britain sides with Germany? Britain, how could you? What about the continental system? Britain, you fool! Oh, that really complicates things for me. Dang, and now I'm not going to be able to steal Gibraltar. Gosh darn it. Alright, let's put the Iberian Expeditionary Force on the Gibraltar front. And the Royal Guard will have to hold the North German front for the time being. And we'll put the Coastal Defense Force down there as well. Now, is there anywhere else that Britain is going to try to fight me? Not here, not in Southeast Asia, because I don't hold those territories directly. These are fronts with France. Britain has got hold of a front in Guyana. And what does Britain want out of this? Nothing. Britain has no war goal. Britain, I can't believe this. I can't believe you'd help the Germans. North German front is not looking great. Let's go ahead and swap over to defense for the time being. Just while we get our conscripts mobilized and get everything going over there. I'm going to need to move the Royal Armada down to the Caribbean. And we'll put this army on this front in order to just sort of continue to bash away at those fronts. Actually, I think we'll put the Coastal Defense Force in down here for the time being. And because those are going to get knocked out fairly quickly, I think, early on in this war. And maybe we'll send this army, the Interior Defense Force, to Cuba to just finish that out. Because that should be relatively fast. Dominican Uprising Army is pretty large, but I don't think they have the resources to actually sustain an army of that size. In fact, it seems extremely likely that they do not even kind of sort of have the ability to. So I think a small force might suffice to bash through them. Front in Gibraltar is looking good. Let's set the game going a little faster and see if I actually have the ability to knock out this situation reasonably quickly. Whew, well, I'm glad I mobilized all my nerds. This could have been a big problem otherwise. Alright. Guess I should have formed the Confederation of the Rhine. If I could satellite countries, sorry, freaking Japanese secession. I mean, no, I shouldn't laugh. It's the right time. It's the right time. We're in the middle of a war and distracted. Well, two wars, really. The government's in the middle of two different wars and distracted. So it's a completely reasonable time to do an uprising. It's strategically the right time. I wish they weren't doing it, but it's the right call. Britain's also dealing with a small socialist revolt while we're fighting this war, so I don't think that's necessarily going to be an issue, but Junadag, where are you? You're a tiny state in India. Alright. No thank you. I don't wish to spend influencing you. Oof. The situation's pretty tough. I'm meaning to expand conscripts. Orissa wants a trade agreement? Absolutely. I would love a trade agreement with you, Orissa. I would be just delighted with that. Very good. 25% landing progress over here. Looking to get that war cleaned out within a reasonable time frame. A defensive pact? Absolutely. I would be delighted to have a defensive pact with you, Orissa. Really, truly, well and truly charming. Ooh, and there's pasteurization. Excellent. So that should put us in a position to deal with the Pebrine situation. There's the war with the North German Federation kicking off. Secessionist Manifesto. A manifesto laying out the arguments for Japanese independence that started to spread in Iberia. Should this sort of thing be illegal? It's not arguing for an armed revolution. Japanese independence could be an entirely peaceful process. However, I will say this. If such a revolution comes, this is what they'll be shouting from the barricades. So they're at 80% militancy. I could start a campaign to counter these arguments, which reduce pop attraction and activism, reduce the progress of the Civil War, but it would reduce activism. Or I could pay it no mind, which will increase pop attraction. I'm going to do the first one. I can spend the authority, although that wasn't really smart, because I'm going to have to cut quite a few consumption taxes in order to deal with the Pebrine thing. So, with this now, I have 2 states. Actually, idea. One of those states is Kanto, and if I lose Kanto temporarily, that'll make the whole Pebrine thing easier to deal with. So I might be able to deal with that. I think I need to stop building. Yeah, just for financial reasons. Alright, force comparisons on these fronts are not great, but as we're clearing out secondary fronts, those should become easier. Alright, beautiful. This army is going to the island front. Tunisia and Morocco. Oh, I could not care less about that. Again, Fernando Po, I've had that the whole game. It doesn't really seem like it's important to keep hold of that territory. Wait a minute. Hold on. Tunisia and Morocco, that's something different. That's over here. Sorry, I was just thinking about I assumed it was Fernando Po, because that's the only front that I'd be on that I'd not be paying any attention to. Alright. So that's the Caribbean front closed out. Any other small fronts that need to be dealt with? This is that's actually my treaty port, so I need to be over there guarding that. How is the fight against Puerto Rico? It's doing well. We got another diplomatic play popping off. A revolt in Bremen. Oh, cripes. Alright, so there's Santo Domingo dealt with. Now, the army that was over there is now over here. I'm going to send them to deal with the revolt in Bremen. If things would stop popping off, maybe I could deal with these situations. The Sacred Union. With war consuming the nation, we can and must try to bury our differences. A call to defend our nation may do much to calm down unrest at home, although we'll have to offer something to our opponents to get them to fully buy in. In our great struggle, the nation calls upon all her sons to step forth and defend their families, and calls for all party leaders to come forth, and pledge that we shall strive on together until the day of victory. In war, we shall find peace, stronger trade unions, landowners, industrialists, and intelligentsia, plus 3 opposition interest group approval. That's an interesting notion. Or there's no reason to embolden our opponents with empty promises, increase civil war progress, other parties get weaker. In war we'll find peace. That'll make a lot of people happy. The root of the problem. Hey, look at all this. Nice. Following research into the nature of Pebrine, we successfully discovered both the fungus that is the cause of the disease and a method to prevent it from spreading through silkworm farms. We are now capable of applying the discovered methods to clear our farms of the infection. It is created there again by the bad seeds that are prepared there, or that are imported there, and the day when we rise, in a locality of great culture, only seeds deprived of corpuscles, almost all the generations there will be guaranteed against Pebrine and will become, not to mention consider this disease clear to reproduce. We are once more at the fore of world science through encouraging agricultural industry and extra prestige, or share the cure with affected nations. A method in turn for relations and the possibility of owed obligations. I'm going to do the second one. I would love to have some obligations. So, the Royal Armada, I'm getting a lot of convoy raiding, and I think it's a lot happening in the northern European oceans, so we'll need to go there. We are desperately short of convoys, in fact, so let's get some port facilities built up. And I'm going to throw those at the top of the construction queue, and I'm going to build them. Alright. The situation in Gibraltar is going well. South Cameroon, Nigerian front. Okay. They haven't cleared out my treaty port over there yet, but that is what it is. Misplaced moderation. Claudio dos Reis has criticized the numerous decisions made by the leadership of his own Catholic party, calling Oscar Villela excessively cautious and unwilling to address critical issues. I often wonder, looking at the activities that we carry out, specifically those which are most crucial to expanding our pool of supporters, whether Villela is authentically aware of or dedicated to their success. Our fundraising is generally acceptable. The coffers of the party are without complaint, as are our accountants. But such resources have yet to be mobilized in a way which benefits the common good. And so my thesis is this. What does Villela intend, and how best to change his mind on the matter? It would be best to simply do as he wishes, extra momentum for the Catholics, or make a point of improving the vigor we put forward. Less momentum, but so this gives him a popularity penalty, this gives him a smaller popularity penalty. I'm going to do the second one. I don't necessarily want to put huge momentum in the hands of the Catholic Party. Speaking of which, let's take a quick look at the election breakdown. Yep, it's about where it's always been. Feeling pretty reasonable about that. Sea lane strategies. Wonderful. So that gives us the ability to upgrade our ships. Force comparisons here are doing a little better. France is not succeeding at holding this territory. If we can get Gibraltar, I can put my main force there. And we've got very high occupation of Gibraltar and are winning the battle. So I'm hoping that I can put the Iberian Expeditionary Force there reasonably soon and not have myself a problem. Trade agreement with the United States? Absolutely. It's going to piss some people in the government off, but that's okay. Micronesian Sea. Really? The Micronesian Sea. Let's look over here. Excuse me, sir. Sir, the game is paused. Sir, 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 sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse. Stop going. You can't. You're not allowed to do. What are you? It's paused. Just get out of there. Stop that. No. No. I just gotta see where they're going at this point. Is this the Micronesian Sea? It's that one. Alright, Britain, fight me. This is really interesting. I did not suspect that this front would be a real one. No thanks, Austria. There's the battle with the revolution in Bremen. The mob approaches. Belligerent crowds have been getting increasingly provocative when confronted by troops in Iberian Kanto. Hardliners and government are demanding tougher responses, while doves are calling for troops to stand down as the first step in de-escalation. A whiff of grape shot saved the day once, and it can be done again. I'm telling you, we need to show strength right now. Strength? Bah! Bullets are an admission of weakness. We need to talk, show them we're not afraid. That's how we'll get them. I'm going to order the troops to stand down. It's a 50% chance of getting loyalists. This one's got a 50% chance of getting radicals. You know which I'm going to go for. And it worked. So that might delay the kickoff of the Civil War. Alright, so again, if we can win this battle, we can get where we want to go. I don't want to invest in you, Austria. You're doing a system. And I'm not a systematic person. So hopefully this will secure us Gibraltar and we can head off some other place. Beautiful. There's the reactionary revolt in Bremen dealt with. So, this army can now go to, yes. Although, actually, I think this is the front that really can do that. And this force comparison is looking better, so we'll go over onto the offensive. And this front is still here. Oh, because there's a passage over this way. Alright. That makes sense. Alright, so I actually do need to clear out all of the Morocco fronts. Which I think I've got a reasonable ability to deal with. Because Britain's forces are pretty weak in these areas. And then I'll be able to move to fight by France's side to help them. In fact, I'm going to send the Coastal Defense Force now to the front in France. Oman wants a power block embassy? Sure. I would be delighted with that. Ghana Ivory Coast front seems like a distraction. Secessionists protest. Proponents of the Japanese secession movement have gathered for a public protest. As the crowd began to gather, attention seemed apparent among onlookers and passers-by, more than that which would usually be expected at the site of a political rally. Perhaps the agenda of national independence stirred up thoughts about civil war, or perhaps more likely, it was simply the unfamiliar feeling of finding themselves outnumbered, even momentarily, by the Japanese population. Break it up, reduce authority, reduce civil war progress, angry trade unions and intelligentsia, or let them be heard, increase pop movement attraction. I'm going to go with the second one. I think I don't want to piss anyone off over this tiny civil war that we're going to have to fight anyway. On the plus side, we are... Oh, these fronts have broken up. Interesting. So we actually do want to try to re-merge these fronts. And in fact, obligation expiring from Japan. Is that going to help get you in my thing at all? Gosh. What if I take in your debt? Oh, 9 million pounds? No, thank you. Well, it would have been an interesting idea if not for this whole situation. If not for me being in huge debt already. In fact, a land of plenty. The country's high standard of living has resulted in a widespread sense of contentment among the status quo, favoring John Aldecoa and the sitting Patriotic Union in the ongoing elections. Change? Why would I want change? I've got a full belly, a happy wife, and a good job. Why would I squander that, chasing what might be? If it's not broken, why fix it? Extra momentum. Or laud his accomplishments, he becomes more popular, rural folk become stronger. I'm going to do the first one. Momentum is important. Alright, if we can successfully win some victories on this front and get these fronts merged back up, that would be a huge boon for us. Now, are there any war goals against... Excellent. So there are liberate war goals against Morocco. Is there anything keeping Britain in this war? That's really my primary question. There is not. Britain does not have war support protection on this thing. Where's Britain? They're over here. Oh no, they do. Who's trying to liberate a bunch of... Who's trying to liberate a bunch of countries we can't get access to? France, you fool. Why would you do this? Low organization... Oh, goodness. Uh-oh. Territorial Army's got a problem. We need... this... We gotta do a Catholic Church guy, unfortunately. We'll put an intelligentsia guy next to him. Oh, that's really unfortunate. unfortunate. But it is what it is. Are there any war goals against me? Ah, right, because we're guarding all this territory. Excellent. Well, this really is a genuine, a general European war. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Baltic states. How could you? I think, oops, sorry. I did a little Huzuma Watsons there. I think I'm actually going to need to increase the size of the Royal Guard again. Because I'm really needing more strength here. We'll go ahead and give some promotions to the generals who are currently in charge. You got some real graybeards here. Ugh. Army at risk. Let me see. Wounded is not great. Inexperienced is worse, though. Tell you what. I gotta offload these bad generals over here. So, Mr. Shell Shock, Mr. Wounded. Now, Royal Guard. 2 options. Let me see. A Stalwart Defender. Excellent. That is very good. And we'll give you a couple of promotions, and then if these guys keep dying, then that'll be fine. I mean, not ideal, but it is what it is. Alright, so, we need some more conscripts. I'm going to go with another 30 battalions. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And another 15 of artillery. 5, 10, 15. It hurts, but it's got to be done. When you have a hammer, General Thomas Imatz, noting severe unrest in Iberian Kanto, has proposed using the army to suppress agitation in the area. While his political allies support him, there is heavy risk to following his plan. It's simple. We have an army, there is the enemy. Let me deploy my men and do it as needed. The enemy shall be vanquished, and that is all there is to it. Reprimand him and reject the plan. Catholic Church becomes salty. Or we must use the tools we have to solve the problems we have. Some chance of increasing the progress of the Civil War, some of reducing it. I'm going to go with... Let me see, how's the Catholic Church feeling? I really want to keep this, but I only need to be at 8. I'm going to reprimand them and reject the plan. They're fine at 10. In fact, I need to stop building. I also want to throw a few more conscripts in my other armies. Let me see. Let's do 10 and 5. 5. Still don't want an investment agreement, Austria. Oh my gosh, and now there's an uprising in Mexico. No! No! Stop it! Stop it! Alright, this army needs more troops as well. 1, 2, and... it's really 5. 5, 10, and 5. And then... the remaining... so was it the Coastal Defense Force I haven't expanded yet? Yes. Yes, it is. 5, 10... 5. Alright. When's the election? The election happened already, or am I just... When is the election? No! What is happening? Everything's happening so fast. April 26th. Oh, okay. Alright. It already happened. It already happened and I wasn't paying attention. Alright. Government is legitimate. We're where we want to be. Let's keep going. Actually, it's going to be time to end the episode. In fact, it was already time to end the episode. Britain is trying to naval invade here. Iberian Expeditionary Force, I need you dealing with the main front. The French can deal with Tunisia. British are invading in this territory, but I think I can hold them with the fleet. Ugh. Maybe I'll send the Coastal Defense Force to deal with it. Maybe I'll send the Coastal Defense Force to deal with it once the naval battles have finished. Ugh. They're out massing me navally, which is not ideal. I really don't want to have to take time increasing the size of my navy in the middle of a war. Because that's real bad policy. Secessionists bomb building. A militant wing of the Japanese secession movement have claimed responsibility for an explosion of a government building, announcing that the time for open war is rapidly approaching. Perhaps we cannot decide if there will be a war, perhaps we cannot even decide when there will be a war, but perhaps our decisions while trying to exercise control over these issues will determine who will be on our side when the war comes. Our very nation is threatened by the Japanese menace. 10% of Japanese pops become more radical, reduce civil war progress. Or, we will not let the slow act ruin the fragile peace we have, reduce civil war progress, a bunch of interest groups mad. Nope, I gotta blame our Japanese population for it. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Alright, so once Coastal Defense Force is able to move, we'll get them going to North Africa to block that off from the British invasion, because the British are trying to invade. With that having been said, that is all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.